what could happen, man.
Yeah.
They wasn't thinking that this could eventually lead to this, man. They were too busy killing one another. You know what I'm saying? Viewing one another as the enemy instead of recognizing the real threat, which is Esau. All right, so it's only this now that shit is starting to hit the fan. Now Jake wants to get ready.
Yeah.
It's a bit too late. You're starting seeing Jake with his skinny jeans, you know what I'm saying, with his hat back, and I'm thinking, man, Esau's ready for it, man. You know what I'm saying? He's been preparing his children for this shit, man.
Yep.
How many of you Jakes have been preparing your sons? You know what I'm saying? A lot of you can't even see your sons because you're at war with the mother.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I mean? And a lot of you are incarcerated, you're in prison. You know what I mean? So it says, I testify my Savior openly, or receive the gift that is given you. With the gift is what? Faith. Okay? We've been given the gift of faith according to Ephesians, I believe it's chapter 2, verse 7, the gift of faith. Alright? So we receive the gift that is given you and be glad. So we're glad, man, that we've got this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? That we're not lost in the world, that the majority of our people, that they're hoping that this world continues, man.
Yeah.
They're hoping that things have opened up. The 4th of July today, and things have opened back up again. So people would technically be happy, because things want things to continue. People want things to continue. We don't want things to continue, man. All right? It's annoying when things open back up and shit. Like everything just bounces back again, gets worse. Bounces back again. That's annoying, man. We're trying to get up out of here. All right? So it says, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that have called you to the heavenly kingdom, which is the Most High Yahawah and his son Yahawashi, man. We've been called, many are called, but few are chosen. The majority of our people, they've heard about this truth. They've ridiculed this truth, man. All right, because the Most High has given them their spirit of the world. The Most High gave us the spirit of the world to come, man. Okay?
Right.
Yep. We got the spirit of the world to come. That's why we feel at odds with this place. We condemn this place, man. You know what I'm saying? We condemn what everybody holds dear, man. We condemn everything that they cherish, man. All right? That's why they hate us. That's why you don't see flocks of people coming to this thing, man. All right?
And like the scripture says, the reason why Jake don't want to wake up to the truth is simply because of what you just said, and also because their deeds were evil, and that this light would reveal their evil. And that's another reason why Jake don't want to repent, because they want to continue in being comfortable in their wickedness. So this world allows Jake to be the way that they are. And Jake, like I've been saying before, Jake don't really want real change. The change that Jake want, they want Esau to change the world to their standard, and their standard is being equal with everybody. The Lord ain't dealing with that, man. When the Lord makes a second return, he's going to set our people above everybody else. Now, people may say, oh, how could you say that? That's ungodly to say that. That's you just being arrogant and chauvinistic. No, it's not. The scriptures are saying that. But Jake don't want to bear that responsibility either, because we've been out here teaching for years. We've been teaching Jake about what the rewards are going to be being an Israelite. A lot of them don't really want that, because most of them have what you call a slave-based mentality.
Yeah, slave-based mentality.
That's what it is. But this truth it formulates a new mentality, such as having a ruling class mentality. So in order for you to rule the next world, or to rule anything, you have to have a ruling class mentality. Right. Jake been in slavery for too damn long. That's what it is. Right. So when we tell Jake, yo, you're gonna inherit the nations, get Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Jake ain't ready, man. Jake think they ready, but they not ready, man. And they not ready to deal with these Edomites, because like you said, these Edomites have been training forever.
Yeah.
They've been training for years. All right? We could find footage going all the way back to the 1990s of these devils training their children and training themselves for war, because they always knew there was going to be a race war. You see? So now all of a sudden in 2020, Jake is just now starting to train and get prepared.
Too late, bro.
It's too late, man.
Too fucking late, bro.
You got Edomites that was training back in the 70s, man.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Go on, bro.
Psalms 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Yeah,
the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahawah,
right,
and against his anointed, saying,
right,
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords.
In other words, let's take away the power of the nation of Israel. Go on.
And cast away their cords from us.
Yeah, and that's what these nations do. The kings of them, when they get together and they speak with each other at the UN office, right? They talk things about on how they can keep oppressing the people of Israel, because Israel is scattered abroad. You gotta understand that. So even amongst Elam, you have Israelites, like you have the untouchables, the dollars that we always talk about, and then also even in the lands of Edom, you have Jacob and these lands. So all of these nations that were under, they know who the Israelites are. And even down in, somewhere in China, in South China to be exact, you got Israelites down there. Okay? So the world knows where Israel's at. And these nations want to continue on to have us oppressed and to have us powerless. But that's not going to happen. So that's a vain idea. Go on, brother, read that.
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Yeah, and the reason why it's vain, because the Lord is recuperating the bands and bringing those bands together. In other words, the Most High is bringing us back together as in the days of old, such as House of David, such as during the time of David, excuse me. Go on, bro. And what's doing that? This truth. They're going to lock you.
He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision.
Yeah.
Then shall he speak unto them.
And how is the Lord going to have these nations in derision? By getting them involved in his third world's nuclear war. You can read that in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, where the Lord have mustered the hosts of the battle, and the nations are being arranged. You can read that. Go on, brother.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahawah Yahawashi have said unto me, the Lord Yahawah have said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for the inheritance.
That's really the point. So we're going to have the heathen as our they're going to be our inheritance. Because when you read the book of 2nd Ezra 16, that tells us that the earth is our inheritance also. Like Jesus was inquiring, why do we not possess the things of the world, but the heathen have possessions of the things of the world, right? So I want to just elaborate on that a little bit. It's simply because the Lord, obviously, like I said, if the Lord is giving this earth unto us, originally, naturally, then all of these other people that come out of the earth, everything that comes out of the earth is going to be ours. Okay, so it's not going to be a hard thing to enslave these nations for the Lord to do that. He's going to do that. And as we just read, the Lord is going to what? Bring these nations to a derision in Psalm. Read that again. Read Psalms 2, and I believe he was in the 3rd verse. And then somebody, and then further, you can't get each of the 3rd chapter.
He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision.
Matter of fact, start with verse 1. Read all the way down to that particular verse.
Why do they even rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahawah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Yep.
He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. The Lord Yahawah shall have them in derision.
Right, the Lord shall, that's the one. The Lord shall have them in derision. So how is the Lord going to have them in derision? Somebody get me Joel 3. Start with verse 5.
Joel 3 and 5. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have we sold to the Grecians, that they might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense.
You know what? Jump to verse 14. No, verse 12. Verse 12 it is.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Salakia. Start with verse 10, man. Read all the way down to verse 14. 10 to verse 14.
And you brothers, when you read with more power, because that's how you're supposed to read.
Yeah. Yes, true.
10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come. all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about.
Come.
Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Which the valley of Jehoshaphat is in the Middle East, where you know those angels, the angels of war that surrounded around the Euphrates River. So that's where the valley of Jehoshaphat is going to be, and all of those nations they're gonna gather themselves together around that. The nations that are there, they're going to gather themselves together and get ready for this nuclear war. So this is how, when you read the book of Psalms chapter 2, it talks about how the Lord is going to have these nations in derision. And we're seeing that play out gradually. We're seeing that play out as of right now. We can read articles about what the Israelis are going to do to the people of Iran. And there's countless of articles on that, you know? Things that are going on around that region. Go on, brother, read that.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. For he the sickle for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down to the press, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great.
Yep.
Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision.
So it says multitudes for the valley of decision. Because the Lord is going to make a decision in terms of getting these nations destroyed, and they're going to destroy their own selves. This is why they have the same nuclear capability as Esau has. Why did the Most High give these nations that capability? Because they're going to use those missiles on themselves to destroy themselves. And then the ones of them that remain alive, which they're going to be in a state of perplexity, confusion. When we get delivered and we're on them chariots and we come back down, we're going to enslave these nations. It's going to be an easy thing, because you got to understand, post-nuclear war, these nations, they're going to be bugged out their mind. They're going to be perplexed. After this war done happen, all kind of emotions are going to be on them. They're going to be saddened. Like I said, there's going to be all kinds of emotions on them.
So I said, Yahawashi said, what will I? How do you go? If there be fire or sin,
Yeah.
what will I?
Yeah.
How does it go?
Yeah, what will I,
So I said, I think it's in Luke.
yeah, what will I if the fire
Already kindled. Yeah.
already been kindled?
I said, wait.
Come on.
Yes, this is Luke chapter 12 verse 49. Come to send fire on earth.
Yeah.
And what will I if it be already kindled?
Right, so the Lord he said to bring fire on the earth. But what would I if it already be kindled? Because it's already going to be fire on the earth anyway. Dealing with these riots and stuff like that. Fire is being kindled on that. But what's going to happen is when these nations go to battle, the Most High is going to intervene that as well and get involved in that war too. So everything's going to happen all at the same time in terms of things happening in the heavens, so to speak. You know, but going back to what I was saying in the book of Psalms chapter 2, on how the Lord is going to have them in derision, we're reading about it was actually seeing it in real life. The prophecy of Joel the 3rd chapter taking place right now. You see? Because all of these nations, they're building themselves up. In particular, China. China believes that they're going to be the next superpower. You know, if they try to upset the economy of the Western Hemisphere. But that's not going to happen. This is Esau's time to rule the earth. Go on, bro.
This is Luke 21 verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars.
Yeah.
And upon the earth
the stress of
nations with perplexity.
Yep.
The sea and the waves roaring.
The sea and the waves roaring. So people are protesting and rioting, and that's causing fires in itself. So again, the Lord said, what will I if the fire be already be kindled on the earth? You see? So it's just the fire is just going to grow and grow and grow until this place is done for. Because this is an empire that was set up, right, for a particular point in time, and then this place is going down, man.
Okay.
This place is going down, and they know it's going down, man. They can feel it in the air. If we can feel it in the air, they can feel it in the air too. You see? But more so, we know more. We know more strongly. It's simply because we have the prophecies. You understand? So because we have the prophecies, we can see everything much more clear, man. It is what it is. Anyway, Joel, read Joel the 3rd chapter again, bro.
Joel 3 and then
Where you left off at. Like the brother said, we with power.
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come down, ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley.
Let the heathen be awakened that come through the valley. In other words, when you look up that word awakened, it means to be stirred up. So the nations are getting stirred up. For what? To fight.
Right.
Go on, bro. And if you can't rub up a shot, you have the app. Yeah, the app. Okay. Yeah, look up that word awakened. If you can't, somebody rub up a shot. If you can.
To read it first.
Huh?
To read it first.
Yeah, read it first and then look it up. Come on.
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened.
Oh yeah. Revelation 16.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
Right, there will I sit to judge the heathen round about. Because the Most High is going to propel these nations to go to battle. They're not doing, because these nations, they think that they're doing it by themselves. They think they're going to build in their nuclear power and their military might, and they think that they're doing it by their own will. But really, the Most High got them doing what they're doing by messing with their minds. You see, getting these men that are mighty and skilled for war, okay, and getting them prepared and ready, man. So when the time presents itself, they're gonna go. They're gonna blow them. They're gonna use those missiles, and the missiles are gonna pretty much do the job that they were meant to do. As the scripture says, the instruments of death. Okay, go on, brother.
Yeah, they just issued a warrant out for Trump's arrest. Soleimani, that president.
Yeah, Qasem Soleimani, yeah.
Yeah, there's a warrant out for his arrest. Donald Trump.
Yeah, cut.
I don't know how that's gonna.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, I think I'll read it.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like and by them saying that, the Most High is awakening these nations again. They're getting stirred up and they're getting angry at America. And also believe this too, according to the scriptures, Great Britain and allies and other allies of America, they're gonna turn against America. That's in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. So America is already ordained. Now, if you look at America, America has a lot of military power. I mean, aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Within those aircraft carriers, I mean, there's what is it? This gun power beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like America is on top of their game, and they could never be thrown down. They can never be thrown down. But guess what? Prophecy says that they will. So we got to go by what prophecy is saying. Despite the fact that they got all of this gun power, all of these aircraft carriers and jet fighter planes and all of that stuff, despite all of that, they're going to go down because the word of the Lord says they're going to go down. You see? Prophecy, baby. Go on, brother.
What was the word you wanted?
Oh, yeah, awaken. And it's not just going to be America that's going to go down. All of these nations are going to go down. All of these nations that get involved in this World War III, they're going to take big L's, man. And after they take those big L's, they're going to be in a state of perplexity. We're going to come back down as a new Jerusalem, as what John the Revelator saw. And we're going to enslave these nations, man. And then we'll get the best out of them. We'll get the best out of their daughters, and we'll get the best of what resources they have for on their land. And they're going to build the kingdom. They're going to build our world. Because we built their world, and when we was under the Babylonian Empire, we was building for them. We was working for them. When we was under the Egyptian Empire, we was building for them. We built for everybody. So now it's about time they build for us. Including the so-called white men, the Edomites. Hell, we built for them, what, going all the way back to Rome? And we built for them in this Rome? So when the time is right and correct, and they be brought under us, they gonna build for us, man. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's how empires are set up. You have the people that's on the top, and you have the ones at the bottom. That's how every civilization has came about. Everybody can't be on the same level.
Right.
So you got vocab alone. He's like saying, well, you know, like you know what I'm saying? Like you got people like vocab alone that have an issue with what we're saying, but never had an issue and don't really have an issue about our enslavement, about their people enslaving us. Now they'll say, oh, that was a bad thing that was done to your people, and etc., etc. But when we tell them that it's going to happen to them, all of a sudden, it's much more, they pay that more attention to what happened to us. You see, and that's why these Edomites, they're what's the word I'm looking for, man? You know, what I know is about these Edomites, all of a sudden they want to protest. They want to talk about, oh, the government is this and the government is that, but when the same government that was all the way been corrupt anyway was supporting them, they wouldn't say anything about, oh, you know, we gotta deal with this government because of how they're treating our people. You see? They didn't say anything about that. But now all of a sudden, this corrupt government is coming against them. All of a sudden, they gotta react to it. But they didn't react to it when our people was getting gunned down. They didn't react to it when the same corrupt government was going against our people. You see? So they're a bunch of hypocrites, man. And the new thing is well, the powers that be enslaved y'all, the so-called Jews enslaved. My ancestors didn't do it, but guess what? Your ancestors were a part of that, and you were a part of lynching our people. So from the least to the greatest of these Edomites, they're all going into slavery, man. They're all going into fucking slavery, man. Okay? Every last one of these, man. If there's an Edomite that's alive after this war, going into slavery. That's what's going to happen. And you can't stop that because it's prophecy. It's prophecy. It says, even in captivity shall go into captivity. And also Isaiah 14:1. Matter of fact, let's drop all of that, man. I don't mean to come like this because I was doing well. I was in a calm, smooth spirit. But now, you know, hey man, sometimes you get in that spirit. That rebuke kind of spirit, you know? Give me Isaiah 14:1 and give me Revelations 13:9 and 10.
Isaiah 14. For the Lord Yahawah will have mercy upon Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Right. And they shall cleave to the house of
That's
Jacob.
That's talking about other Israelites that became strangers. That's not talking about the actual strangers that's going to cleave unto us. Go on, bro.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahawah.
So who are we going to possess? We're going to possess those that had us under their possession. Like when we were in hardcore slavery, coming up through slave ships, we were just considered stock to them. We were just considered cargo and stock. That's why they called it cargo slave ships. We were just cargo and stock. We weren't even human beings. We just use all of these people as stock to work our society out. But guess what? When you read the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter, slavery's coming back in a big way. And they're going to be on cargo slave ships now. It says the ships of Tarshish shall be waiting upon you. Something like that. So what we went through, they're going to go through the same thing. That's what's going to happen. Go on, bro.
Shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahawah for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives. And captives they were.
Right, they shall take them captives whose captives they were. Go on.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. Who's oppressing us right now? The so-called white man, the Edomites. They're oppressing us right now. They're the ones that's making sure that Jake don't elevate to a whole nother level financially. Ever since Jake has been in the swords of Britain, right? They've been in this lower class set. They've been working these base jobs and not getting anything, right? And the reason, and to a certain level of degree, I do understand why that's the case, because if you were to give Jake an equal share opportunity, Jake would take over his whole entire system, they took over ancient Rome. So I get that, but that does not negate what they've done. That doesn't stop judgment. It doesn't negate judgment. The judgment's going to come down the pipe, and they're going to be our slaves, man. That's our teachings. Okay, that's not just our teachings. That's the truth. Like the scripture says, whatever man sow, that shall he also reap. Whether they're grown men, whether they're grown women, or whether they're children, they all going to reap the same thing, man. They're all going to go into captivity. Whether they're kids, whether they're young women, or whether they're men. They're all going into fucking slavery, man. Okay? We don't.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahawah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage.
So the Lord is going to give us rest, man. And Most High is going to give us rest because we've been working for what, 500 years now, right? And didn't get what is our just due. Like for example, when you read these articles, right? I don't mean to be the way that I am, brothers, man. I'm just in that spirit, man. That spirit kind of kicked in.
Go with it, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Go with it, brother.
But at the same time, when you read certain articles about the reparations money, most of that money went back to the same companies that enslaved our people. Because they don't want to give Jake their just due, man. They don't want to give Jake as to what they've worked for all these years. It's still in the same fucking predicament, man. But that's all right because the Lord is going to deliver us out of this predicament anyway. Regardless of what, they can keep that money because we're going to get more than what they call reparations. We're going to get reparations time 1,000.
Wow.
We're going to get these nations. We're going to get the whole entire planet. And they're going to be building our altars and our walls for us. So we don't really need we don't really need what they have. Technically, they're going, brother.
Yeah, because Esau was not set up to bring justice to Jake. You know what I'm saying? That's what the vast majority of our people, they look at Esau like he's human. I mean, Esau is he's a person, but the Most High didn't put the spirit upon him to bring justice to the planet Earth. If you look, that scripture says, you know a tree
by its fruit.
By its fruit. You know a tree by its works. If a tree brings forth good fruit, it shows you that tree is a good tree. If that tree brings forth corrupt fruit, that tree is meant to be hewn down and cast into the fire. When Esau was set up in the world, going as far back as Cain brought forth corrupt fruit. Now literally, what did he do? He brought forth fruit from the ground to sacrifice, which is not lawful. You know what I'm saying? So his works were not righteous. His works were wicked, and it was evident. And the Most High came down and called him a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. So that's what Esau is. He's a man who's escaping justice. He doesn't bring justice. He's trying to escape justice being brought upon him for the things that he's done. So this is Isaiah chapter 10 verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. So the scripture says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger. So Esau, he's the modern day Assyrian, because the ancient Assyrians, that was pretty much, they were before the ancient Babylonians, and they took the northern kingdom into captivity, which led to why the northern kingdom, they fled to the Americas to live a more peaceful way of life. So the only tribes that were left in the Middle East was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The modern day Assyrians, that's Esau. He's the modern day Egyptian, the modern day Babylonian, all right? And he's the rod of the Most High's anger. So you have to understand, we were brought, the reason why Esau is ruling over us is for our punishment.
Right.
Okay? So Esau is not supposed to show us any manner of justice, because the scripture said that he is the rod of the Most High's anger. So the Most High is using him to exert his anger on us, man. So that's why when you see, even though I might send all like, photos of Jake, getting hung or, getting, fucked up in slavery, little things that Esau was doing to us in slavery. We get mad at Esau, but you have to understand that this is the Most High really doing this to us, man. That's the level of anger that God, our Father, had for us, which is an evident token for the level of sins we must have committed against him, for him to do us dirty like that, man. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, thou hast shown us hard things, man. In fact, let me get real quick. This is Psalms. Yeah, so it says Psalm 60 verse 3. Let me start with verse 1. O God, thou hast cast us off, thou hast scattered us, thou hast been displeased, O turn thyself to us again. Right? because the Lord turned his face